I'm not the one that's so far away, and I feel a snake bite into my veins. Welcome to the show. Never did I wanna be here again, and I don't remember why I came. Bodo, 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 Bodo. I'm coming back again. Welcome to the show. I'm not the one that's so far away, and I feel a snake bite into my veins. Never did I wanna be here again, and I don't remember why I came. Welcome to the motherfucking show. All right, we get the little musical intro done. All right, what are we gonna talk about tonight? Anybody unfamiliar with the show? I'm Big Daddy. I just get on here and I rip the mic, rant and rave. A lot of politically incorrect topics are talked about. We rip on feminists, rip on leftists, go through the pop culture news of the day, the political news of the day. Sometimes we get a little philosophical, sometimes we get a little religious, sometimes we even dovetail into the paranormal. I was a big fan of Art Bell way back in the day. Not so much George Norrie though. Never really liked old George Norrie. It's just something about him I just didn't like. Snorri Norrie, I called him. Yeah, them were the days. I miss Art Bell. Yeah, fucking all of the old radio people are dying out. Rush Limbaugh died out here recently. I used to listen to him way back in the day, but then I kind of figured out who Rush Limbaugh was. It was when I got through. I actually got through to the call screener one day. It was right after the 2016 election. I was gonna get on there and talk about the WikiLeaks shit and all that. And before you talk to Limbaugh, you got to talk to Snerdley, Bo Snerdley, the guy, the call screener, this black guy. Anyway, after talking with Snerdley for a little bit, like it all clicked and it fucking made sense what was going on immediately. Like old Bo Snerdley, that guy, he's Limbaugh's handler. That guy was Rush Limbaugh's handler. Like all of the information that was fed to Rush Limbaugh, it would go through this Snerdley guy first. And Snerdley, he didn't want. I mean, yeah, he basically told me in so many words that they weren't going to touch that with a 1,000-foot pole, the WikiLeaks shit. And that's when I kind of knew then and there who and what Rush Limbaugh was and what he was all about. And I kind of stopped listening to him after that. Yeah, but said this before. The people, the true enemies of this earth, there's only one thing they truly fear. Only one thing. And that is strong, charismatic individuals capable of leading and influencing large numbers of people. That's it. That's the only thing they fear. They've even said so much in their fucking books and shit. They fear real leaders. So what happens is anybody that comes along that looks like they might be a leader, they turn them into controlled opposition. That's what happens. In Limbaugh, he might have been legit at some point, but he eventually got turned into controlled opposition. Is what happened. Yeah, welcome young Buddha in the chat. Anybody else in the chat who comes along from now and between the end of the show? Anybody on the replay, welcome. Yeah, this it all goes back to weak men. Weak men, they created hard times. But what created weak men? That's the question. I blame feminism mostly. Anybody knows me knows about my tirades about feminism, how feminism created weak men, and weak men created hard times, and most all of the ills of the world could be traced back to feminism in one way or another. But at the end of the day, men are the ones that allowed themselves to cuck out, and be submissive to the women. And if men weren't so fucking weak and they didn't cuck out all the time, and feminism would just be non-existent, basically. But it all goes back to the tale of the first cuckold. I guess you could call him the first cuck, Adam, the first man, as you say. What happened was he let himself get cucked by Eve. The snake came along and kind of, got wormed his way in there and got between God and man, and he used the woman. They always use the woman, the subversive elements. But had Adam been a real fucking man and not some bitch made beta that allowed himself to, get controlled by his woman, who her himself was subverted by an outside element, just imagine that, well, maybe that's the boon of man to try to overcome that weakness, not give in to the woman and allow yourself to be submissive to her. Because let's just say Adam was a full red pill man. Let's just say Adam, first man, had full red pill awareness. What do you think? How do you think that would have went down in the Garden of Eden? Just imagine for a second. Eve comes up, hey, honey, here, taste these apples. The snake told me they're so good. Adam, but whoa, snake, hold up, what? Whoa, bitch, what happened? Tell me from the very beginning. Speak very, very fucking carefully, because God told us not to eat those apples. No, tell me about this snake. Oh, this snake came along, told me the apples are good, and convinced me to eat them. Oh, hell no. Where's the snake? Adam goes and gets a big old limb. Show me where this fucking snake is right now. Eve shows him where the snake is. Adam comes up around, whacks that fucking snake in the head. Whack. Keeps whacking in the head. Cuts its fucking head off. Because you never know. With a snake, even if you cut their fucking head off, that head can still bite. So he goes and burns the head. He's like, all right, Eve, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. What you're going to have to do is look at that tree there. I want you to tear me off a limb. No thicker than your thumb. Just tear me off a good limb, about 3 feet long or so. She goes and gets him a limb. All right, Eve, now turn around. Now, Adam looks in the sky. All right, God, now I'm doing this so you don't have to punish us. I'm going to punish her for you, okay? Hold still, bitch. Ah! 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 I'm sorry. Ah! Never disobey God again, you fucking cunt. That's how a red pill man would have fucking handled that situation. Then they wouldn't have got kicked out of the fucking garden. The red pill, this is the true gospel. The red pill saves lives. The red pill is the way. Yeah, if every man lived their lives with full red pill awareness, feminism would be non-existent, because they wouldn't allow subversive outside elements to come in and corrupt their women. And that's what feminism is. A subversive, corruptive outside element came in, they corrupted the women, and the men sat idle and they allowed that shit to happen. The men allowed themselves to get cucked. Now we look at the state of the world we're in today. People fucking wearing masks, staying inside when they're told to, while these fuckers are ushering out full authoritarianism. They even fucking told us exactly what they're going to do in their fucking books. They call it the Great Reset. And you got men sitting idle, allowing it to happen. Because you look right next to them, their women are like, I'm telling you, the women, they love this fucking shit, this pandemic, this fucking bullshit. Because it allows them to indulge in their most worst aspects and traits, just indulge in laziness, never having to leave the house. They're all subconscious about their looks. So they think they're ugly, so they get to wear the mask, so they get to cover up their ugly face. Like, I'm telling you, the women, they love this fucking shit. And the men going right along with it, too. Oh, Lord have mercy. Young Buddha. Adam makes the first gun to kill the snake. Yeah, there you go. The first, and thus the first weapon was crafted. Yeah, If men weren't so submissive to their women, we would not be in this fucking situation. It all goes back to the great lie known as feminism, trying to teach men and women, oh, equal this, equal that. Like, no, no, no. Look at how God intended it in the garden, Garden of Eden. He saw a man was lonely and he needed a companion, someone, to keep him company, to help him in the garden, raise his children. Anytime a woman goes beyond her core programming, then that's when shit gets weird. That's when you encounter, the bipolarisms, the fucking mental illness, the crazy bitches, feminism. Anytime women begin to deviate from their core programming, that's when we got trouble. Yeah, fucking feminism has made modern Western women so unpalatable. It's just almost impossible to be in relationships with them. I mean, this day and age, if you were to try to marry a bitch, I mean, it's literally like playing Russian roulette with 5 bullets loaded. I mean, is it really fucking worth it? I mean, goddamn. Yeah, but I figured out the cheat codes in life, the various cheat codes. Just completely cut the Western woman out of the fucking loop and go over to Southeast Asia, one of those countries, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Philippines, something like that, and get yourself a good, submissive Asian woman that's untouched by the taint of feminism. That's about the only way to attain like the closest thing that God wanted us to live. That true Garden of Eden style of life, man and woman living together, raising children as a family. Because that's the one thing the subversive element wants to destroy more than anything, the family unit. Because if you destroy the family unit, then all the power goes into the hands of the government. And that's one of the biggest things that women did when they were given the right to vote over the years. They voted over time to replace man with government, and that's what happened after women were given the right to vote. Some say we would have been a lot better off without that shit. I think actually there's a lot of people shouldn't be fucking voting, to be honest. Like I think in order to vote, it should be kind of like driving. Like in order to drive, you got to get a license to drive to ensure that you're capable of driving. Like you need a license to vote to make sure you don't hate the fucking country, that you're smart enough to vote. And it's just a simple test, kind of like how they do with the DMV, just to ensure we don't got some subversive elements trying to divert our country down a dark path. We don't want people who hate the country voting. We don't want fucking idiots voting. That's the bottom line. Well, then if that happened, well, certain political parties would cease to exist. Yeah, we all know which one. Oh yeah, take a little drink of that coffee there. Yeah, government's all about the government looks at its people as nothing more than they look at people as an energy source, and that energy that they get from you is tax dollars. And with those tax dollars, they fund all sorts of nefarious bullshit, and sometimes it goes to people that you don't want it to go to. And yeah, a lot of people don't understand. They pay their taxes, and we end up waging war with an innocent nation, kill a few 100,000 innocent people. And some of those taxpayer dollars funded some of the bullets, some of the bombs. Whether one understands it or not, you got a little bit of blood on your hands. That's why I try to not pay taxes as much as possible. Live fully off grid. Got everything paid off. It's just that once a year, the property taxes, that kind of shit. It just goes to show that even if you pay off a property and you're completely paid off, you still fucking have to come up with something. Even if it's once a year, you're still paying rent, basically. Only with people that pay rent, it's once every month. Yeah, when you really look at things from an eagle eye perspective, what they've done is they've turned people into slaves. They're slaves to debt, to the college student loans, to this or that. They're slaves to their monthly bills. I mean, just think about the end of the month, how many different bills you got to pay: rent, car insurance, health insurance, this and that. And what happens if you can't pay your monthly bills? You're fucked basically. You get thrown out. There's a lot of people getting thrown out on the streets now because they can't pay their rent. Just imagine how fucked that is. They make everybody stay indoors, can't go to work, so you can't make money to pay your rent. So then your rent accrues up, and then all of a sudden they raise prices on everything. And then the landlords are like, all right, sorry, we got to kick you out now. Yeah, I remember living like that back in the day. The rental days. God, that sucks. Yeah, I recommend anybody, like if you're renting, try to find some place to buy and pay it off as quickly as possible. It's just so much easier. And at the end of the day, you end up owning it, like even if you're paying a mortgage for a long, long time, all that shit. But yep, a lot of all the subversive elements, men allowing the women to become feminists and thus corrupt and destroy society. A lot of it stems back to fatherhood, how fathers just completely failed on so many levels. Like looking back on how I was raised, like my dad was just the most blue pilled of fucking beta cucks, basically. Completely raised me wrong, like the exact opposite of how I should have been raised. Like if I was raised with full red pill awareness and like full red pill as a child coming up, I would be a completely different person now. Probably be a multimillionaire because I would never have involved myself. Well, I would have seen the red flags when it comes to wicked, treacherous women. And that's one of the things that fathers fail mostly with their sons is teaching them the red flags to look out for these fucking women. You just stumble right into a buzzsaw, just unaware. It's like, how many abortions has she had? Like, how many tattoos she got? How many dudes has she fucked? Like little shit like that. Your father never told you about that. And yeah, I blame a lot of social media too. So that's completely destroyed women. Those phones of theirs. Goddamn social media. The selfie culture. I bet if you were to do a poll with women, like get 1,000 women together, do a poll, and you could ask the women, you could have one of two things. You can have a husband and family, or you can have your smartphone. One of the two. You can't have both. Husband and family or your smartphone. What do you choose? I bet you 90%, if not more, of those fucking cunts would choose the smartphone over love and family. This is the fucking state of the earth today. This is what feminism has done to modern woman. These women, but what they don't understand is with the feminism, the way they train their men to be weak as fuck. You see, women, like, they don't know what they want themselves. Like, a woman will always transform a man into something that she hates. And what happened was, over time, the feminists turned the men into these simped out white knight beta cucks, and they don't like those types of men. They're just simply not attracted to them. And that's why the vast majority of the women would rather choose their fucking smartphone over love and a family. Guarantee you. Yeah, that's the true litmus test right there. If you're in a relationship with a woman and you're serious, and you say, "Would you give your phone up for me?" Most all of them wouldn't. I guarantee you. You would be dealing with a case of true love if she was willing to give up her phone for you. But even then, she'd probably have it like a phone hidden on the side, hidden somewhere in a safety deposit box. She'd go access. where she's just got Tinder and all of the fucking dating apps loaded up on it. Well, speaking of which, old Jack Murphy got exposed. That's pretty funny. A lot of cucks out there. A lot of cucks. Yeah, a lot of these guys in the red pill manosphere getting exposed as cucks and just frauds, basically. Yeah, the way I see it, if you're true and legit, like you're always coming under attack. Like YouTube's always nuking your channel, or you always got the SJWs coming after you and shit like that. A lot of these guys, they're allowed to operate full reign. It just means they're playing ball is all. Yeah, I had an old channel where I did primarily Comicsgate material. Then the SJWs, the feminists, somehow found my channel and then attacked it and hit me with a couple of strikes. So I had to go to ground and private all of my videos and fired up my lifeboat channel. I had several lifeboat channels waiting in the wings. And yeah, I hadn't consumed red pill content in a while, came back and like the whole manosphere that completely changed. Like I don't even want to use that word that starts with the M and ends in Tau. Like that fucking word that's like taboo word now. They probably got fucking bots out there. Oh shit, put him on a terror watch list. Do it. Like fuck. Yeah, they just completely fucking nuke the whole manosphere, and the only people left are, well, there's still people out there. Well, the only legit ones are the ones that had to create lifeboat channels, because they're always getting nuked. Then you watch some of the guys, like a guy like Joker, watch him sometimes, but he self censors himself and all shit. I can't fucking stand that when people self censor themselves. Well, the nail that sticks up gets hammered down, I guess, as they say. Young Buddha, Daddy, have you heard about the war band? Yeah, yes. Undead Chronic, he was the one that gave me the idea to keep a few lifeboat channels on tap just in case the SJWs begin to target you. Yeah, I used to listen to him back in the day, and they kept nuking his channel and shit, and he's on like channel number 14 now. It's only a matter of time till they nuke that one too, I bet. Yeah, Undead Chronic, he's probably the most legit one in the manosphere that I've come across. I mean, hell, if they've nuked your channel 14 times, it just goes to show. They haven't nuked Donovan Sharp's channel 14 times as far as I know. Yeah, fucking started listening to Undead Chronic again. Like, yeah, this guy, he's easily the most based in the whole manosphere. Like, fuck, that's what I gotta do. Start to getting back to my roots, because back when I used to do my Comicsgate videos, like what I want to do is kind of bridge the red pill with Comicsgate. And I did that for about a year and a half or so. Got about 100 subs. Like, shit, might as well. Well, since I had to basically redo my channel again, it's like, fuck, let's flip the script up and let's do some primarily fucking hardcore red pill content. Fucking cut right to the meat of the matter, so to speak, because that was the fucking thing that got my channel targeted before. The feminists came after me because I was on like some sort of an anti-feminist rant of some sort. It's like, you feminists thought you would silence me? Oh, hell no. It's like drowning a kraken. You're just gonna fucking piss me off. Yeah. It all goes back to fathers not teaching their fucking children red pill awareness. The vast majority of fathers all out there, full on white knight, blue pilled beta cucks. Every last one of them. Like if their fucking wives wanted to fuck Tyrone and have them watch it and threaten the relationship with it, saying they're unhappy, let me fuck somebody else. Oh, okay, honey, just don't leave me. I guarantee you, most fucking guys would cuck. I guarantee you. To go full Jack Murphy. Yeah. Kukori! Cucking. Yeah, it all goes back. It seems to be a common theme in the Bible, cucking. Like Adam cucking out to the snake, allowing subversive element to come in there, corrupt Eve. Then you look at the tale of Mary and Joseph. Full on cucking right there. Like virgin birth. Yeah, right. Mary cucked Joseph. I guarantee you. If it really went down that way, I guarantee you, Joseph got cucked. Guarantee you. Yeah, some don't know what the red pill is. That's one reason why the censors come after the red pill so much, because they know how dangerous it is. Because if every man became full on red pill awareness, then it would put the stop to all of their fucking plans. Because a red pill aware man wouldn't be going along with this pandemic bullshit. He would have fucking put the kibosh on it in the very beginning. Like old Donald Trump. That motherfucker is so blue pilled. Lord of the blue pill, white knight beta cucks. Like if he was full on red pill, he would put the fucking foot down right there in the beginning. Fucking Fauci would have been shot in the fucking goddamn firing squad. Him and Bill Gates and all these fucking pieces of shit that tried to fucking pull this shit off. If he was a real man. No, he was the one that fucking first bent the knee and went along with all this bullshit. Yeah, blue pillars are dangerous. This is why I try to cut out all blue pill men from my life. Because a blue pilled man, well, like I said, they're dangerous in many, many ways. Like you can be destroyed by secondhand simping. Like a blue pilled white knight beta cuck simping for some stupid cunt can fuck you over secondhand. Like if you have these type of people in your life. Like I remember I got fucked over with some secondhand simping once. Looking back on it now, it was secondhand simping is what it was. Happened when I was a kid. It was Halloween time, and I would always have to hide my Halloween candy because my parents would always steal the fucking Halloween candy. You know, if you're a parent out there, don't fucking steal your kids' Halloween candy. Because what you do is you make them paranoid as fuck, and well, it's bad parenting. I know you may have good intentions, but just don't steal your fucking kids' Halloween candy. Anyway, this Halloween, I was determined not to have my fucking parents steal my candy this year. So I had my friend hold on to my candy for me. Like, hey, just hold on to my candy, keep it hidden, and I'll come by every so often and get like a little bit here and there. And this motherfucker, he tells me one day, I meet him at school. He's like, hey, I got some bad news. And he tells me about how he met this girl at the park and they're playing. And he told her about my candy and shit. And she wanted to see. She wanted to see my candy. And he took her back. And he said when he went, he had to go to the bathroom. When he went to the bathroom, came back, she was gone. But not only was she gone, but my candy was gone too. Like the stupid bitch he met at the park and brought over to his house stole my candy. Like that's how, I mean, like I said, blue pillars, white knight, beta cucks, they're dangerous. Sometimes you can get fucked over with secondhand simping. And that's just a small microcosm. I mean, what happened if, you know, this happened? I mean, what happened like if this was like a Fortune 500 company and you got some stupid cunt come in there and accuse a bunch of people of sexual harassment, and then you got to pay out the bitch several $1,000,000 and like fucking just because some dudes like flirted with her or something like that and she took it the wrong way. And then your you know, your company's out millions of dollars just because of some fucking assholes wanting to simp on some stupid fucking weird feminist cunt. That's just the tip of the iceberg how secondhand simping can fuck you over. Just imagine if a similar situation went down with how I described with the candy, only it was drugs instead. And somebody was holding on to a bunch of my stash, and he brought some fucking cunt over that he met at a bar and showing off my fucking stash to this bitch. And then he goes to the bathroom, and then this bitch fucking bounces, steals all of my shit. And then I'm out just because this fucking asshole is trying to impress some stupid bitch through secondhand simping. I was fucked over. You see, this is how second-hand simping can truly fuck a person over. And this is why you want to cut out all blue pillars, all white knights, and beta cucks out of your life. Only associate yourself with red pillars. Yeah, young Buddha's right. Never let a simp handle your money or resources. Yeah, those who you hang with will, yeah, I understand that one right there. It reminds me of a biblical verse. I believe it's Proverbs 13:20. He who walks among the wise shall come to wisdom, but a man who walks among fools shall come to ruin. This is a very, very true statement. You walk amongst white knight, blue-pilled beta cucks, they can destroy you. You walk amongst the wise men who have attained the red pill, you yourself can enrich yourself in knowledge. And so on and so forth. Yeah, women, they're like children. They need to be trained and guided by strong men. Yeah, women will instinctively go away from a weak man and not want nothing to do with him. Like I've said this before, like the women, they've given men the blueprint for the type of dude that they like, the type of men they truly desire. It's the protagonist in all of the stupid romance novels. Like a lot of men think they're above all that shit. Like no. Like I've done my research in these cunts. Just read romance novels and look at the types of protagonists in those novels. The men in those novels, they're the exact opposite of these male feminists and shit that the women try to train the men to become. You see, a woman, they'll never tell a man what they truly want. You got to read between the lines. And that's one of the things, the little hidden things they put out there in their romance novels. Those are the types of men that they desire. The strong fucking alpha. The man who will always do the right thing no matter what. Who won't fucking cuck out. Those are the types of men that they truly desire. Strong men, not weak men. Yeah. Fucking men can be led astray so easily by women. Just for a little warm poonie. It's like, come on. The wisest man in the world, supposedly King Solomon, had the fucking wisdom of God. He ended up simping out, sacrificing crickets to Moloch, all for a fucking piece of pussy. If you could somehow not allow yourself to give into that temptation, into the temptation of an evil woman, allow yourself to become submissive to her, do what the fuck she says, well, then you could become more wiser than the wisest man that ever existed, basically. Yeah, it's all about training the woman to be submissive. If Adam would have fucking trained Eve to be submissive, then she never would have even fucked around with the snake in the beginning. This goes to show that women need to be trained. I've often likened them to it's kind of like a wild horse. Like you need to break the horse in order to ride it right, or a dog. Like a dog needs to be trained. You can't just have some fucking wild dog that you need to be. It needs to be trained properly. It's the same thing with a woman. Like right out the gate, had Adam trained his woman properly, she never would have even fucked around with the snake in the apple. The moment she saw the snake slithering up to her, she would have ran off and went and got at him. Hey, there's a fucking snake over there. Go kill that fucker. Yeah, there's many lessons can be gleaned from the Bible, but your average fucking preacher won't fucking tell you that, of course. Oh, hell no. Yeah, the church has failed modern man so badly. So badly. Yeah, your average Christian is just so cucked and so weak and just so dickless and just a parody of a parody, basically. Yeah, the thing that kills me the most about the Christians is their weakness is an abomination to my fucking eyes. Because basically, you look at the book of Revelation, the enemy gives you the blueprint for what they're going to fucking do. Mark of the beast, the whole fucking nine. And what do the Christians do? They just cuck out and allow it to happen because, well, if I'm a good Christian, then Jesus is going to come save me when the rapture comes, and then the earth will burn and I'll be saved. It's like, how about preventing the earth from getting fucked up in the first place? Huh? The enemy has given you the blueprint for what they're going to fucking do. But your average Christian, oh my God. Like anybody who's fucked around with the website Reddit knows how fucked it is, and it's just completely cucked. It used to be semi-decent, but not anymore. But if you go onto Reddit, any sort of Christian subreddit, and try to warn about this Bill Gates fucking jab being the mark of the beast, you'll get instantly yeeted and thread banned. Like you're not allowed to talk about it. Like it's one of those taboo subjects you can't even talk about. It's like, what the fuck? Like in the Earth's time of need, when we needed an army of Templar knights to stand the ground against the forces of darkness, well, we got a bunch of lambs who are going to allow themselves to be sacrificed. Christians. Their weakness is an abomination to my fucking eyes. Yep. Religion, a lot of people, they cling to their religion for various reasons. I think a lot of times people use religion as nothing more than a shield to virtue signal upon. They use it as a cloak of righteousness. Oh, I'm a this or that. I'm a Christian. That means I'm a good person. And the reality is they're fucking shitty people. Golden rule, that's what it's all about. The golden rule. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Everything else is just window dressing. Like that is the one universal religion. But what happens if you're a mental, emotional, and physical masochist? What then? Okay. Yeah, that reminds me of another Bible verse is Romans something, I forget. You'd have to read through the Romans section to find it exactly, but talks about defeating your enemy. And the way to defeat your enemy is to shame them. That's what they're talking about. Shame your enemy. Like instead of striking back at your enemy, if he is cold, offer him a blanket. If he is thirsty, offer him water. If he is in need of a place to stay, offer him shelter. And then when your enemy tries to strike at you, he will stay his hand because he will feel shame, and the shame will stop him. And I got to thinking, just how out of touch the Bible is with actual reality when you read something like that. Using shame to defeat your enemy. But what happens if your enemy is incapable of feeling the emotion known as empathy? What happens if your enemy is incapable of feeling the emotion known as love? What happens if your enemy is incapable of feeling shame? How can you shame an enemy that is incapable of feeling that emotion? And then you look at the enemy, what they do to people like me and my ilk. What they try to do is shame me with my words and whatever, to try to shame me into silence, to defeat me. That's what cancel culture is. No. You cannot defeat an enemy with such tactics. No. The true enemy of this earth that sees human life as nothing, that doesn't hesitate to sacrifice children, the true enemy of this earth, there's only one way to defeat that enemy. You have to understand what is best in life. Few people understand what is best in life. But Big Daddy knows what is best in life. Do you want to know what is best in life? I will tell you what is best in life. To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is what is best in life. To crush your enemies. You don't shame them, you crush them. That's what you do. Christianity, what a fucking joke. Socially engineered their people to become lambs that will allow themselves to be slaughtered. It's time for the lambs to grow horns and become rams and understand what is best in life. Crush your enemies. Crush your enemies. Lamentation of that women. Crushing the mist while dancing with them devil in the dark. Crushing the mist while in my soul a spark. Brush death with this while dancing with them devil in the dark. All right, guys. We're going to take a 2-minute break. I got to get up and pour another cup of coffee. Hold in there. 2 minutes. We'll be right back. 2 minutes. 2-minute break. We'll be right back. 2 minutes. Coffee going. It's the halfway point. Grab yourself a smoke, a sandwich. We will be back shortly. Yeah. And we're back. All right, we got a fresh cup of coffee. We got our mind right. The halfway point of the stream or so. We like to get at least a good hour in. But yeah, I got to thinking about how feminism had destroyed modern Western woman, and how if one wants to attain a family, you have to look outside of the realm of the West, basically. And I did talk about going to one of these Southeast Asian countries, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Philippines, somewhere over there. But even then, feminism is so it's like a virus of the soul. Like even the most remote jungle over there in Laos and Cambodia or Vietnam, you never know if the taint of feminism might touch one of these women, and they're like ticking time bombs at that point. So there's only one true way to know that you're going to get a woman who's untouched by feminism. And that means you're going to have to find like the most remote fucking tribe there is that's just completely untouched by Western civilization. No Christian missionaries, no Mormon missionaries went in there, nothing. Like you got to find a fucking like a real primitive race, basically, completely untouched by the taint of feminism. The only problem is there's like places like that are so few and far between on planet Earth because the Earth has pretty much been charted. But then I remembered this one time I heard this story a long time ago about a certain chain of islands in a real non-traveled part of the seas. And on these island chains, there exists a race of people that are supposedly so primitive that they don't even know how to make fire. Like they have to wait until lightning strikes somewhere and they have to go and gather up the fucking burning tree. Like that's how they fire. They're so primitive they don't even know how to make fire. And supposedly like they're really black, I guess. They're the closest thing they could be described is like they look like the Aboriginal people of Australia, I guess. In Australia they call them abos, abo for short. But yeah, I guess they look like abos. Anyway, this island full of abos, I got to thinking, if they're so primitive that they don't even know how to fucking make fire, then surely the taint of feminism hasn't touched this island. And then I got to thinking, if you truly want to get a bride that you can trust, that isn't gonna, someday turn on you like a fucking zombie, you have to go to one of them islands and get a woman. The only problem is, I guess these islands, the people on there are so wild and crazy, like they kill anybody on sight that goes on the islands. Like I guess Christian missionaries have tried to go there, but anytime, like no Christian missionaries ever return from the island alive. So it's like, fuck. If you truly want to get one of those women, it's not like you can just go in there and pay for a dowry, bring in some goats and chickens and shit like that. No. You're gonna have to get a little bit more clever. And then I got to thinking, you know what? If I had a boat fully kitted out and had hired a team of mercenaries, I bet I could go full Jurassic Park on one of them islands. Fucking infiltrated at night, full night vision goggles, get some of that good Colocol 1 nerve gas that'll put you down within 1 to 3 seconds and knock you out for 6 to 8 hours, and just go in there for a midnight raid in one of these villages and just snatch up several of these women. It's the only way to truly attain a bride untouched and unblemished by the taint of feminism. You have to go steal one from one of these islands. Now, a lot of you may be thinking, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. Like, no, you don't understand. This is a humanitarian thing I'm doing. Like, you really think that's a good thing to live like a savage like that? Like, I bet they practice cannibalism. No, I would be doing these women a favor. Snatch up 3 or 4 of them and take them back to America and, take them to my compound out here in the middle of nowhere and train them right to the way I like, And some of you maybe say, well, how is this any different from slavery? Like, oh, this is completely different from slavery. Completely different. Like I said, this is a humanitarian thing. Like those women, if they were to stay on that island, their children would just be savages. But hey, their children with me, they got a future. Yep. You want to know what I would do? I would, let's say I could get like 4 of these women, just breed them, each one of them every year for the next, however many years they can have children, basically. And then each one of these children, train them into, I have a curriculum set up. I call it the curriculum. It's after you get done, get put through the curriculum, basically you're unleashed onto the world, and you are trained in the art of retaking the earth from the forces of evil afterwards. Because I am but one man, I can't do it myself. I need an army, even if I have to breed it with women captured from an island. The only problem is, once you have these island abo wenches, I mean, you got to go full M. Night Shyamalan The Village. You can't allow any sort of Western woman to be around the woman. You can't allow her to get on the internet, no television, nothing like that. Because the very second that happens, boom, then the seed is planted, as they say. And then it's only a matter of time. Big Daddy, we need to talk. I want a divorce. I want half. Like, wait, what? I should never let that neighbor bitch come around you. Damn you, island wench. Yeah. If you ever go get yourself some island abos, whatever you do, don't allow them to be around other Western women, because then they will be infected with the taint of feminism. Oh, you know you could get half of his shit, right? I can. Don't you talk to her. Island bitch, get away from her. You get out of here. Yep. If you ever go through with that insane idea of mine to go snatch up some island abos, whatever you do, don't allow them around other Western women. I believe there's an Eddie Murphy bit about this. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be one way. Looks like Vicky just popped in. Welcome. Yeah, I was just going over my various ways of breeding an army with slaves. Yeah, another way you can attain a slave army. Like anybody who knows the story of North Korea knows just how bad it is there, and how North Koreans try to flee it all the time. And one of the ways is they cross the Yalu River into China. The only problem is, like if you go into China and you get captured by the wrong people, you get sold into slavery. And like I guess there's a huge thriving slave trade in China with North Korean sex slaves. And I had this whole bit about how North Korean sex slaves are the future to fight against feminism. Like men can go over there to China and come across these Chinese slavers and just buy these women and bring them back to the West and shit. Like I said, I'd fucking go there, buy several of them, come back and then breed them and like breed myself an army. But if I had to choose between North Korean sex slaves and island abos, I think the island abo would probably make the better, more hybridized form of super soldier. Because anybody who's looked into the genetics, like human genetics, knows that the most hybridized form of human is when you cross a white man with a black woman. Like it's not the same when you cross a white woman with a black man. No. When you cross a white man with a black woman, that's the most hybridized form of human. They're the most athletic, most intelligent. Like they're basically the pinnacle of human hybridization, basically. So yeah, if I was able to capture some abo wenches, and I think I could properly breed a good army. Yeah, anybody who's unfamiliar with America and on our slave trade, there's a reason why America has like the best athletes. And like back in the day, the slave owners, they would breed the best, biggest slaves and shit, and like try to get like the most strongest slaves. And from the eugenics program that was conducted by the old timey slave owners, that's the reason why the black people in America today are like dominate sports and athletics, because they were basically bred like pit bulls. Jimmy the Greek, he lost his fucking career saying the same type of shit, but it's true. It's true. Yeah, I believe if I had a harem of island abos, I could probably breed a hell of an army. When I think of it. lost myself there. Yeah. Yeah, back in my old Comicsgate channel, I would bring guests on from time to time, and a lot of times I'd try to get a musical guest on to do like a musical interlude. Sometimes it would happen, but most of the time it wouldn't. And sometimes I'd bring guests on. We'd chop it up for a while. But I figure at this point in the game, anybody still listening to my show is probably one of my old school fans from my other show. So we'll go ahead and segue into a little Comicsgate talk for a little bit. Yeah, Comicsgate, anybody doesn't know what that is, it's a section of the independent comic book underground that kind of sprung up as a knee-jerk reaction to the mainstream when mainstream comic books got all woke as fuck, and they started doing stupid shit like, turning Captain America into a Nazi, replaced Iron Man with a little black girl, turned Hulk into a little Asian boy, shit like that. But yeah, these people within Comicsgate started creating their own comics. It consists a lot of blacklisted industry professionals and shit. A lot of lol cows over there. A lot of funny shit happens sometimes. Not so much anymore. It's kind of dying out, really. Yeah, one of the more funnier things going on is that Star Wars girl Anna and her cosplay calendar. Now this right here is a microcosm of well, let me explain this. Sometimes human beings, well, I talked about it earlier. He who walks among the wise shall come to wisdom, but a man who walks among fools shall come to ruin. It's the same thing with women. And you see Anna, that Star Wars girl, she just associated herself with just the dregs of, oh my God, like these people on the show and like the Jack show and this guy Cecil, like no doubt he was the one that talked her into doing this fucking retarded cosplay calendar shit. I mean, not gonna knock the hustle or anything. They just made fucking shit over 50K now. I don't know the exact number. An insane amount for a goddamn calendar. But it's supposed to come out, well, it's a calendar for 2022, so, well, 2022 is just right on the corner. Will she make it in time? I doubt it. But such was the precedent set by Comicsgate with their late books. Like in the very beginning, the first year of Comicsgate, like it was all of this excitement, all these books are going to get released. And then like the books, another year went by and like fucking a lot of these books are like several years late, and it pretty much killed all momentum of the movement. And what it did was people accepting late books, it normalized the whole having books be late thing. And in doing that, it killed all semblance of momentum within the movement. And now the only people that are actually making any money off of the movement are the ex-industry professionals, basically, because those are the only people that are trusted now. Because if you're an ex-industry professional, you got too much on the line to lose. You basically got to come through with your project. But yeah, this Anna associating herself with these fucking loser idiots, it's turned her into a joke. She's gonna become a fucking lolcow before it's all said and done. Yeah, women, they need guided. Like I said, they're like children. They need trained properly. And you look at Anna, that Star Wars girl. She's basically like a woman child. You can tell she never had no strong male influence in her life. Hell, here recently, I guess this guy Cecil, this fucking idiot Cecil and her boyfriend, they're at a goddamn strip club, and I guess the Yellow Flash was there too, Yellow Cuck, as he's commonly referred to. But I guess at this strip club, some random stranger comes up and grabs Anna's crotch right in front of all these guys, and instead of like grabbing the guy by the throat and knocking him out, like they all sit in there and just laugh at it. It's like, Jesus Christ, if some asshole would have did that to one of the strippers, you want to know what happened? The bouncer would have been on that fucker in a second, grabbed him by the throat and would have ragdolled him and thrown him out the fucking club, and he would have been kicked out. Like if they would have did that to one of the fucking girls that worked there. Yeah, hanging out with these fucking just these beta losers is just making Anna look bad, and she's going to end up become a fucking lolcow before it's all said and done. Yeah, she's not being managed properly. I know that. Like if I was managing Anna, like I said this before, I had a whole bit about it. Like she would have been the most lucrative e-thought of all time. She would have made Belle Delphine look like a fucking homeless crack whore, I'm telling you. Like, first of all, if I was managing this cosplay calendar campaign, like it's a fucking joke, but like, why is there not a full nude stretch goal? Why? Like, you should have $100,000 stretch goal. She goes full nude. Like, you would obviously never hit it, of course. Although, looking at the fucking rate, I think it might be over 60 grand now. They might have actually would have hit that. And then I talked about if you really want to bring the grift to the next level, what you do is at a $250,000 stretch goal. And this is where Anna flies down to Mexico and puts on a donkey show. Now, obviously, it's not going to hit that number, but in aiming for the stars, you hit the moon somewhere in between. But yeah, this fucking clown Cecil, he would take all of his cash grab money and fund the fucking donkey show tier. That's what would happen. Yeah, this guy Cecil, he's so simped out. Like I talked about him in my show last week, how he tries simping out on this, basically a crack whore who allowed herself to get cream pied by her gay friend. Like he simped out on this girl, and he couldn't even fucking get any puniti, and she just ghosted him and shit. Like, this guy is a fucking joke and a half, and he's basically the mascot of Comicsgate, like their idol, their golden calf. Oh boy. Yeah, I think one of the reasons Anna might be doing this cover bullshit is I think she senses the wall closing in. And what she wants to do is document how she looks while she can for the day 10 years down the road when she eventually starts doing online dating to find somebody, when she eventually dumps the fucking loser she's with. But at that point, she's post-wall, and any man worth a shit's not going to want anything to do with her. But anybody who has ever done the online dating knows that the women, they like to use older photos. That's for sure. Yeah, I used to do the online dating way back in the day. I used to do it all. The Tinder, the Plenty of Fish, the J-Date. I did it all. Yeah, some of these bitches, boy, you look at them in the pictures, and then you meet them in the real life, like, holy shit, wait a minute, you look like a completely different person. Then you remember her photo in her trip to New York. The Twin Towers were still in the background. Like, oh, wait a minute, now it makes sense. Yeah, one of the worst things that a woman can do in online dating is advertise herself as pre-wall when the reality is she's post-wall. Boy, there's nothing worse than that. When you're, looking through a woman's profile, all of her pictures are pre-wall. You message her, blah, blah, blah. You end up meeting up. And then as soon as you look at the bitch, like, oh, nah, she's post-wall. And then she looks at you, and she looks disappointed too. And you're like, you both kind of fucking disappointed. And you have lunch or whatever, or hang out. And then you eventually end up calling her out on it. And he's like, you look way different in your profile. Yeah. And she looks at you, is like, well, you're not 6'2". Like, yeah, bitch, I lied about me. I lied about 2 inches, You're at least 75 pounds overweight and fucking 10 years older than your goddamn pictures. The only reason I lied about that is because women don't even look at a man like he's human if he's less than 6'2". No shit. You can't even be 6 foot anymore. You got to be at least 6'2". Like the old rules, they've changed. Like, it used to be a thing called the 80-20 rule. It's not that way anymore. It's now 97-3. Like these fucking bitches. And you end up smashing anyway. And such is the nature of online dating. I used to do that shit years ago back when I lived in the city, but yeah, then it's like you grow up, and it's like you grow out of playing with toys at some point. It's the same thing. Once you attain full red pill awareness, and you realize the more important things in the world, and how most of the bitches are just fucking, just ain't worth a shit. And how all they've ever done was just basically cost you time and money and energy. And you trim the fat, and you look at things for what it truly is, and you come to certain epiphanies and fundamental truths, such as attaining North Korean sex slaves or island abos and creating a slave army. That's what you do. Think outside the box. All right. All right, let me pour a little fresh coffee here. We'll rant and rave a little bit more. Maybe we'll sing a song or two, and we'll go ahead and end the stream. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, want to chop it up with Big Daddy, any post-wall roasties out there, feminists that want to throw down with Big Daddy, the StreamYard's link is in the chat. Well, I take that back. It's not in the chat, it's in the description. That's where it is. The StreamYard's link is in the description. Yeah, no feminists want to throw down with me, I guarantee you. I normally have a policy where I don't debate SJWs, but I'll make a fucking exception for this case. If you're a post-wall feminist, you don't like what I've been saying, and you think what I've been saying is wrong, you can refute it, go ahead and come on. I fucking dare you. But yeah, another thing going on in there in the world of CG, Comicsgate, the dude who's referred to as the Comicsgate Jesus, the guy that pretty much founded the whole movement, ya boy Zach, Richard C. Meyer. I guess he recently came out with another comic that he's released. He's just released another one. And it's another Narzak one. And Narzak, it's this collaboration between Richard C. Meyer and Narwhal. They created a little logo for their little collaboration, Narzak. It's this gay little squirrel looking thing with glasses. Really, really fruity. But anyway, he's come out with a new comic. And his comic is called Is This You? That's the name of the comic. Is This You? And anybody who's seen Narwhal's art, it's hit or miss. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it's just real lazy looking is what it is. It just looks like he passes off thumbnails to your boy Zach. What I think happened was when Narwhal was first collaborating with your boy Zach gave him, script, and it's like, hey, here's a script. And Narwhal, what he did was he handed in the thumbnails. And what your boy Zach did was he thought the thumbnails was the finished project, and he was all happy with the thumbnails. So Narwhal was like, wait a minute, he thinks the thumbnails is the finished project. Maybe I can just do the whole thing in thumbnails and the guy won't know. So Narwhal's just been doing all of the fucking comics just in the thumbnails, like really, really sloppy, bad pictures. Like that's the only thing that explains it. When you really look at Narwhal's art and you really know a thing or two about art, it's thumbnails is what it is. It's real quick, crude thumbnails that you do real fast. Yeah, but anyway, anybody knows the story of your boy Zach, the reason why he's considered Comicsgate Jesus and the founder of the movement is because he was one of the first that was calling out all of these woke, terrible comics, and he was making YouTube videos about them, doing reviews in the parking lot type of shit. And he gained a huge following, and he eventually started making his own comics, and he got a deal with Antarctic Press, but the SJWs stepped in and fucked up his deal with Antarctic Press, threatened Antarctic Press, saying that they're going to unleash a Twitter mob upon them if they decided to print Richard's comics. And the guy that was leading this was a guy named Mark Wade. And it ended up in a lawsuit with your boy Zach because, well, that's tortious interference. Because your boy Zach had an agreement, a signed contract with Antarctic Press, and after Wade contacted Antarctic Press broke its arrangement with your boy Zach. So what Mark Wade did was he committed a crime, tortious interference, interfered in a contract. Anyway, it went to court, and there was a GoFundMe and all that. And one of the reasons why the SJWs targeted your boy Zach is because they were calling him Nazi. Oh, you don't like our comics? That means you're a Nazi. Blah blah blah. And this obviously affected Richard deeply somehow, so much so that he's decided to like go full self-insert with it and just come out with this comic called "Is This You?" Now here's the kicker. Here's what the comic is about. It's about an immortal who becomes a target of cancel culture because he was once a Nazi. I kid you not. That's the fucking premise. The wokies come after this immortal dude because he was once a Nazi. He once was part of Hitler's regime. He was part of the Luftwaffe or the SS. I don't know what he was part of. I don't know. But I guess he was part of the Nazis. And then it takes place in nowadays, and the woke scolds find out he was once a Nazi, and so they start trying to cancel him. And I don't know. It sounds. The premise is so fucking gay. It's obvious, ya boy Zach with some stupid self-insert bullshit, and at the end of the whole thing, there's going to be some stupid moral and lesson about herd, cancel culture is the real Nazis, and it's just going to be so fucking stupid. And then I got to thinking, you know what, ya boy Zach, if you truly want to subvert expectations with this project, here's what you do. Here's what you do. You really want to throw them a left ball, a curve ball out of left field? Here's what you do. Now I'm gonna preface this rant by saying this is a hypothetical speech being given by the character from your boy Zach's book. Is This You? The main character's name is Alistair. So let's just say, hold on, before I get into this, let me get up and go to the bathroom real quick. We're gonna take another 2-minute break, guys. Another 2-minute break. Ugh. Bathroom break. Get up, grab yourself a smoke, grab yourself a drink. 2-minute break. All right. And we're back. And where were we? Oh, yes, the hypothetical speech given by Alistair, the main character in the upcoming comic by your boy Zach called Is This You? Okay, let's say Alistair in this comic gets tired of all of these wokies calling him Nazi and shit, and he just fucking snaps. So this is what he does. He calls a press conference. And he says, I'd like to address all of this Nazi stuff to you guys once and for all. I'm going to set the record straight. First of all, everything you were ever told was a lie. History is written by the victors, as they say. Yes. You want to know the truth? Here's the truth. The most blackest of black pills. The Holocaust never happened. It's true. Holocaust never happened. I was there, I should know! Holocaust never happened. In fact, if you look back, even before World War I, the Jews were crowing about 6 million Jews going to be killed. 6 million Jews going to be killed. 6 million Jews. You can go back and look this up. This is real. This is documented. Before World War I even started, they were crowing about this 6 million number. 6 million. It all goes back to their book, Kabbalah. It's a black magic ritual, trying to grant themselves invulnerability of sorts, to where if you criticize them or say anything about them, it'll flip back and destroy you. We're dealing with a demon-worshipping cult is what we're dealing with. You want to know the truth? Hitler was the good guy. That's the fucking truth. I know, I was there. The Jews tried to subvert and destroy German society. They were one of the smallest percentages of people, but they wielded the most amount of political power. They controlled the media. They controlled entertainment. They tried to subvert the German people with pornography and degeneracy. Remember all of the book burning? You want to know what was really being burnt? Jewish pornography and communist literature. Yes, it's true. There was one thing Hitler hated more than anything else, it was communists. Because Hitler knew how dangerous communists were. They're responsible for millions of deaths. One of the most dangerous political ideologies there is, besides feminism, of course, communism. Yes, many of you do not know, but after World War I and the Treaty of Versailles was signed, many large portions of Germany were given away to countries. And on these areas of German land, there still existed German people. What happened? These German people were beginning to be ethnically cleansed and executed. The true genocide took place against the German people. That is what happened. Hitler had to go save the German people. This is the truth. And all of these Jews that were supposedly killed, well, guess what? There was a typhus outbreak. A typhus outbreak that was of biblical proportions, beyond that of the Black Plague. It killed hundreds of thousands of soldiers and civilians alike. You want to know the truth? The Soviet Union had liberated about 90% of those concentration camps before the Allies even got to them. And the Soviet Union, after it fell, the records finally came out. And when the historians poured through the records, you want to know what happened? Turns out only between 200 and 300,000 Jews actually died in those camps. And most all of them died because of the typhus outbreak. They had wooden doors on the goddamn gas chambers, wooden doors. Think about it for a second. The Holocaust never happened. This is true. I was there. You must believe me. Everything you were ever told was a lie. Hitler was actually the good guy. And I am here to tell you right now that I will finish the Führer's glorious task, and the Fourth Reich shall rise, and we will create a pure world, a German world. And then he fucking drops the mic, leaves the press conference. A couple of the people out in the crowd, the SJWs, a couple of just straight up been triggered and died. And then it cuts to a scene back when young Hitler is a young youth, and it shows the man who is teaching Hitler and training him, and Hitler's mentor, and it shows him, and it turns out it's Alistair himself. And turns out Alistair is an immortal race of people that have been trying to do battle with the Jews since the dawn of time to prevent the Jews from eventually subverting and taking over the human race. As their role as God's chosen, but it's really not God. It's really Satan. Somebody just tuning in the last couple of minutes. Oh my God, this is the most anti-Semitic thing I've ever heard. Somebody cancel this guy, quick. Hey. This is Big Daddy doing a hypothetical speech from your boy Zach's new comic, Is This You? It's just a comedy bit. It's just jokes. It's just jokes. Day, bow. Chicka chicka. Bow. Day, bow. All right, guys, I've ranted and raved long enough. It's maybe my last fucking stream. All right, we'll go ahead and close it out. Thanks for coming out, y'all. Wouldn't that be gonna smoke them bullets out? Beg me fed green blunt and I will smoke it all out with that China ice and the savoir-faire. No one in the whole universe could never compare. Oh yeah, I am yours now and you are mine and too. Even though we laugh throughout space and time, no, don't cry. Come day or daddy will die. Thanks for coming out.